विद्यार्थी भाइ बहिनीहरू नमस्कार। म सन्तोष सुवेदी। म आज कक्षा 12 को हेरिटेज अफ पोर्ट्स भन्ने पुस्तकबाट एउटा ड्रामा डब्लुबी एट्सले लेख्नुभएको पर्गाटोरी भन्ने ड्रामाको छलफल अथवा तपाईँहरूलाई शैक्षिक सामग्री प्रस्तुत गर्न गइराखेको छु। यो ड्रामा विशेष गरी डब्लुबी एट्सले लेख्नु भएको हो। विलियम बटलर एट्स जो चाहिँ 13 जुन 1865 मा जन्मिएर 18 जनवरी 1939 मा बित्नु भएको थियो, वाज एन आइरिस पोइट, dramatist, prose writer, and one of the foremost figures of 20th century literature. We can know him as a pillar of the Irish literary establishment. He helped to found the Abbey Theatre and in his latter years served two terms as a senator of Irish Free State. And Purgatory is a drama by the Irish writer W.B Yeats. It was first presented in at the Abbey Theatre, Dublin on 19th August 1938, a few months before its death. Purgatory is a play written by W.B Yeats. This play deals with the theme of crime. It has a message that crime invites crime. One has to break the cycle of crime for complete emancipation. According to Christian beliefs, the dead man's soul is detained in purgatory. It is detained for some time for the purification of his or her pardonable crime. After the crimes are pardoned, the soul goes to heaven. In this play, the old man believes that the mother's soul is detained in purgatory. He kills his son to break the cycle of crime. In doing so, the old man believes that he can help his mother's soul to leave purgatory, but it doesn't happen so. In this drama, there are mainly three characters: old man, boy, old man's son, and the old man's mother and father can be taken as a ghost characters. The play Purgatory is written by William Butler Yeats. The old man and the boy, his 16-year-old son, are talking in front of a ruined house. It can be taken as a setting of this drama. The old man says that the house was burned down by the old man's father when the old man was 16 years old. The old man kills his father and puts him into the fire. The old man's mother had already died in giving birth to him. The old man believes his mother's soul is suffering in purgatory. While talking, the old man sees the ghost of his mother and hears the sound of hoof beats, but the boy sees and hears nothing. The boy complains that the old man hasn't given him fair share of the money. The old man and the boy struggle over the old man's bag of money. The boy threatens to kill the old man. The old man kills the boy by stabbing. He believes he has broken the cycle of violence. He believes his mother's soul is still suffering in purgatory. He cries out to God, asking him to release his mother's souls from purgatory. These are the main or key points of this drama. What's the meaning of purgatory then? In Roman Catholicism, purgatory is an afterlife stage of human soul where the soul is detained, stops or wanders for sometimes to God's purification before it enters into hell or heaven. Is I have already told you the main theme or theme of this drama is the crime of a father will be repeated by his son in an endless cycle of violence. People who haven't done any crimes or sins, then after death, or sometimes in purgatory and heaven, people who have done pardonable crimes, sins, death, and purgatory. People who have committed unpardonable crimes, theme. Crime invites crime. One should break the chain or series of violence. crime for complete emancipation or freedom. It is the theme, central theme of this drama. And the setting is, I have already told you, a destroyed or ruined house. In front of the house, the old man and the boy are standing and talking. Please screenshot it. And the characters, old man, the man who kills his father and his son. He wants to release his mother's soul from purgatory. He also wants to break the cycle of criminal violence. And then another character, the boy, the son of the old man, is 16 years old, has a conflict with his father or old man about the ownership of property. The full money, full of bag भनेको छ. And the ghost of the soul of the old man's father and mother. These are the characters in this drama. The theme of the purgatory. Uh, in the examination, you may be asked to write the theme. So, purgatory is a story of remorseful of a departed soul that committed mistakes on itself while being alive. In order to purify itself, it is undergoing suffering in purgatory. It is also concerned with the living beings who suffer the consequences of the sin committed by the dead people while alive, and the help rendered by the living beings to get soul released from the purgatory. And the central idea of the play. In this supernatural play, W.B Yeats has expressed his faith on the existence of any supernatural power and life after death. Purgatory is a mythical place. The soul of the dead man is purified from his sin to saint towards heaven. In Roman Catholic Christianity, when a man dies, he goes either to heaven or to hell according to his deeds. If he has done neither good nor bad work, his soul goes to purgatory. It remains as a ghost there until it would not be purified after punishment. The soul remains in the purgatory until the cycle of crime would not be stopped in the family. विशेष गरी व्यक्तिले जीवित रहँदै गर्दा गरेका विभिन्न किसिमका क्रियाकलापहरू, चाहे ती अपराधिक क्रियाकलाप हुन् वा अन्य क्रियाकलापहरू, मरेपछि हामीले हाम्रो बिलिफ्स अनुसार स्वर्ग नर्क भन्ने गर्छौँ. त्यहाँ जानुभन्दा अगाडि एउटा स्टेज हुन्छ, त्यो पर्गाटोरी भन्ने स्टेज. त्यो स्टेजमा पुग्छन्, त्यहाँ भौतारी रहन्छन् भन्ने कुराहरू चाहिँ क्रिस्चियन विश्वास रहेको छ क्रिस्चियनिटीमा. त्यसको बारेमा यसमा छलफल गरिएको छ. लेट्स टक अबाउट द समरी. W.B Yeats' play Purgatory depicts the restlessness of spirit after the death and bothers the living beings. Purgatory refers the place or state into which the soul passes after death to become purified of pardonable sins before going to heaven. In the play, there are two characters as old man and his son. Besides that, there is a dead spirit who hovers here and there for his part. The play basically concerns with the sorrow of the dead and the consequences of the crimes of the dead upon the living ones. The father of the old man committed a great crime by wasting the property, by drinking and destroying the honorable house, and deprived his son, the old man, from education and inheritance of the property. As a result, the old man, when he was 16, murdered his own father. In the play, the ruined house is often visited by the remorseful spirit of old man's father and mother. The suffering spirit is not purified to enter the heaven because of its crimes and sins during life. The groom, one who looks after the horse, marries a rich lady and the couples have a son. यो कथाको यो फ्ल्यासब्याक हो. The lady dies after the birth of a child and the groom wastes her property by spending a lot and drinking. When the son becomes 16 years old, he murders his own father, who burns the honored house, wastes the property, and makes his son deprived of education and inheritance or legal rights. of the property. The son has become old now, and he has a bastard son born out of wedlock. The scene of the play is ruined house and the bear or next tree in the background. The old man and his bastard son stand in the moonlight before the house. During the anniversary of the old man's mother's wedding night, the old man finds that the suffering spirit visits the house again and again in the ruined house. The old man sees the ghost of his mother and hears the hoofbeats. Hoofbeats means sound from animal foots of his father's house. The boy sees nothing and calls his father mad. The old man discloses the history of the destroyed house to his son. The boy steals the bag of money from the old man and tries to run away. They fight for the money that is scattered or spread on the ground. The boy threatens to kill the old man. Now the old man is afraid of his own son, who has become 16 years old. The old man thinks that his son may repeat the disgraceful tradition of his father. जसरी आफूले आफ्नो बाबालाई मारेको थियो त्यही तरिकाले छोराबाट पनि मेरो मृत्यु हुनसक्छ अथवा म मारिन सक्छु भन्ने चाहिँ डर त्यो ओल्ड म्यानमा हुन्छ. And then the old man decides to stop the polluted tradition which may last for generation. In the meantime, the boy also sees the spirit of his grandparents and he becomes shocked. The old man suddenly stabs, kills by knife his son to death to finish all consequences. The stage is darkened and the Beatrice appears like a purified soul into the white light. The old man at the tree end explains why he has killed the boy. He wants to put an end of the chain of consequences, the polluted blood and its consequence. उसले आफ्नो बाबालाई पनि मार्छ र छोराले मलाई पनि मार्नेछ र यो पछिल्लो जेनेरेसनसम्म लगातार रहिरहनेछ भन्ने सोचेर उसले आफ्नो छोरालाई पनि मार्छ र उसले त्यो चेनलाई ब्रेक गरे त्यो मृत्युको संस्कार अर्थात् चाहिँ बाबुबाट छोराबाट बाबा मारिने त्यो परम्परालाई चाहिँ ब्रेक गर्नको लागि मैले चाहिँ छोरालाई मारेको भन्ने लजिक उसले दिन्छ. When he bends to pick up the scattered money, he again hears the hoof beats of the dead spirit and sadly thinks that the consequence has not come to an end. He laments that he has killed his own father and son without any obvious purpose. Finally, the old man prays to God to free the tormented soul and calm them. And this is the summary of this drama. You may screenshot or pick out some points in your note copy which can help you to prepare from the point of view of examination. And some questions and answers based on this drama are as follows. Why is the old man's motive to murdering the boy? The old man killed his son to stop the cycle of crime. If he wouldn't kill his son, the cycle of crime wouldn't be stopped. The boy would surely kill the old man and the cycle of crime would be continued. The boy had threatened him that he would kill the old man because he didn't have given him property and education. The boy's son would kill him later and the ghost of his parents would not get salvation. His soul would remain in purgatory as the ghost of his parents. So, to stop the cycle of crime, the old man killed his son. And the motive in murdering the boy is to stop the cycle of crime. We are always punished for our sins. Elaborate this statement. यो परीक्षामा धेरै पटक सोधिएको प्रश्न हो. The statement we are always punished for our sins, extracted from purgatory by W.B Yeats, it expresses that any person will be ultimately punished for his or her bad and criminal activities. अर्थात् हामीले गरेका हरेक प्रकारका नकारात्मक क्रियाकलापको दण्ड अथवा सजाय हामीले चाहिँ के गर्नुपर्छ त भोग्नु नै पर्छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ यसले भन्न खोजेको हो यो स्टेटमेन्टले. It means all sinners must be punished and punishment is necessary for all defaulters. In the drama, it makes the speaker say this so to strengthen his idea about punishment and sinners. It is obviously a spiritual and religious expression towards the bad or sinful works and punishment from God. The speaker accepts the reality that every sinner deserves to be punished. God is not blind to punish everybody randomly. He punished only those who commit sins. जसले पाप गर्छ उसले चाहिँ के गर्छ त त्यसको फल भोग्छ। भगवानले पनि एकदमै ब्लाइन्डली सबैजनालाई पनिस गर्ने होइन, जसले चाहिँ अपराध गरेको छ त्यो अपराध अनुसारको चाहिँ सजाय दिनुहुनेछ भन्ने कुरा हो। It gives also idea that no one should make sins or mistake. God discriminately punishes the sinners. No sinner is excused in his or her life. That's why every spiritual factor of religious belief inspires people to remain scared and mistakeless. And every sinner must be ready to accept any kind of punishment. तपाईँलाई यसलाई पनि स्क्रिनसट गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ। अब यो क्यारेक्टर स्केच गर्ने पनि परीक्षामा आउन सक्ने भएको हुनाले मैले दुईवटाको क्यारेक्टरको बारेमा केही लेखहरू राखेको छु, कलेक्ट गरेको छु। ओके, हामीले भनेको थियौँ त्यो क्यारेक्टरमा बोय or old man's son, त्यो ड्रामामा एज अ क्यारेक्टर छ। Boy, a 16 years old, he has accompanied his father too long, wandering through the Irish countryside. He feels like a pack horse, burdened with his father's bundle, and is tired of listening to the old man's continuous talking. The boy shows only vague interest in his father's description of the ruins of an old house before them. Considering his father silly, he ignores questions about their surroundings, for this merely delaying their reaching a destination. He obeys his father's command to stand in the doorway to look for someone inside the house cell. But he cannot see what his father sees there. Arguing with the old man's insistence that someone is in fact inside the boatboy describes what he says: emptiness with only a piece of eggshell doubtlessly dropped out of bird's nest. He dismisses as lunatic ravings the old man's musings about purgatorial spirits returning to their earthly homes. Only when the old man identifies the house as their family's does the boy show interest. He challenges his father's condemnation of his grandmother's hasty marriage choice, defending his grandfather's luck in getting both the woman and her money. His interest in the old man's story is not in the stormy relationship, but in the bounty it evokes: a young woman, horse, a rich library, clothing, and drink. He resents the old man having enjoyed wealth and learning without passing any on to him. Intrigued that he is the same age as his father was when the great house burned, the boy chooses that moment to ask about whisperings he had heard on their travels that the old man had murdered his dissolute father. His interest in violence links him to his father and grandfather. When the old man is lost in a vision of the grandmother and grandfather having sex, the boy grabs the moment to steal the old man's bundle of money, in an obvious parallel to the grandfather who seized the grandmother's estate. Selfishly, the boy argues about his right to his inheritance to spend on drink if he chooses, echoing the grandfather. After a violent struggle, the boy threatens to kill old man and replicate the former parricide. At that moment, he can see for the first time the old man's ghostly vision. The sex in nightmare and the boy's violence are linked. As he covers his eyes, he is stabbed to death by his father. This is about a boy. And now the old man, a wanderer down to scene of his childhood, a ruined old house. He tries to pass to his young son his fond memories of the luxurious life there when he was a boy. He is easily lost in reveries about the great lives, roughly. and affectionately lived there. He is also furious that his own father cut down ancient trees to pay gambling debts. The old man declares that wasting a great house with noble history is a capital offense. He ignores his son's envy of the luxury. The old man has a boy. Indeed, he ignores the boy's scoffing pronouncements on his shaky sanity and continues to point out the ghostly scene inside the house. Relieving his resentment of his dissolute father, his low class, drinking, worrying, squandering the estate by gambling, and refusing to education his son. He passes on his resentment to his own son, calling him a bastard who also would probably becomes a drunkard. And his anger flares hottest as he observes his father and mother's ghost in the sex act. Clearly, his affection for his mother tortures him as he watches her phantom lead his father's phantom to the bedroom. Trying to enter the vision, he hopes to break the cycle of sex, betrayal, and destruction by warning his mother to flee. Even though he is disgusted, he cannot cheer himself from the spectral sexual union of his parents, which suggests an Oedipal fascination with his mother. When the old man sees the young boy steal the bag of money, repeating the cycle of the grandfather squandering the grandmother's wealth, is livid. Blending rage of his father's callousness with fury at his son's resemblance to the visceral parent, the old man widely stabs the boy to death. Grotesquely, he, he, sing, he sings a lullaby to the boy's body and afterwards addresses his mother, ex- excusing his violence as a release for her purgatorial reenactments. Contrarily, he promises to become a harmless world storyteller in distant land. As he hears the ghostly offbeats of his father's ghost again, it is clear that, in spite of the old man's prayer for his mother's release, the Irish circle will begin anew. Her purgatory is his also. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video and keep visiting my YouTube channel for uh, other lessons. Thank you. Thank you very much.